this week for you, Beck Madden. Fantastic reviews, richly deserved. Well done.
I don't know how I made it, but I did, Jim. I'm here.
You are here.
Ready for week 2.
It's great to have you here. Tell us what's on a big edition of the Footy Show.
Huge edition of the Footy Show. We have undoubtedly the biggest name in football at the moment, Dane Swan. He's going to be here talking about his future, Jim. All will be revealed.
And your old mate David Koch, the president, of course, of Port Adelaide, live from China, if you don't mind.
You cannot keep a good man down. Sam Newman, he's back on his soapbox. The rant returns.
And speaking of Adelaide, we cross live to one of the stars of the Adelaide Crows, and how well are they going? Rory Sloan.
And the best race in the nation, the Footy Show Stakes. My favourite, Jim. Can't wait for that.
Brilliant. As I said, going to be a very, very big edition, and we have some superstars on the panel, starting with a man who's about to break the all-time games record for the AFL/VFL. Put your hands together for the star from the Kangaroos, Boomer Harvey's on the Footy Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the St Kilda Footy Club, a big round of applause for David Armitage.
Oh, nice to have arm around here.
Looking slick.
And what about Premiership superstar from the Hawks, the Footy Show's own, Shane Crawford?
You nearly knocked me out.
Sit down, Shane.
Yes.
We're going to get to the big
I'll
hand
talk
in
about
just
that
a
later,
moment.
Beck. I've got some words to have with you about writing things on your hands.
No,
Okay.
well, we will get to that shortly.
Okay.
But the show can't begin until the main man's out here, of course. 303 games for Victoria. Look at this idiot. And Geelong, the biggest name in football and has been for a very long time, John Sammy Newman. What are you doing, please?
What am I doing?
Yes.
Now, where I'm swapping. Beck came here from 7. I'm going back to 7.
Are you?
That's why I've got this on.
Right.
No, we've got this on because we've got our friend Cocky on.
Koshi.
Koshy.
Koshi.
David Koch?
From China. Yep. David Koch.
Is it Koch or...
It is Kosh, apparently.
It's not Koch.
Don't think so.
No, we've got it. And he's in China, and
Yes.
we're going to cross over to him.
We
Why?
are.
I'm not sure. And people said, you know, why do we wear the 7th
Yes.
thing? Well, we're bigger than that. We know 7 exists, and they do the
Absolutely.
Footy, and Channel 10 are there, and the ABC, and SBS. We're bigger than that, aren't we?
We
can
are.
cross-promote.
That's
They're
it.
Great. Well, you must have liked them. Well, you couldn't have liked them that much, or you wouldn't be here. But they're great station, aren't they?
A very good
about
station.
it. And we were interested to see... sorry, go on.
No.
Did I cut you off?
Not at all.
We were interested to see during the week where our great friend Brian Taylor, of course, has, we think, going to be, when Dennis Cometti, the great man, exits, is going to be taking over Friday nights as the caller, and so he should, because he's an absolute superstar, is the Bristle. But...
He's the favourite, Jim. He's the favourite.
And I just wanted to say it, we'll be crossing over to Cocky over there.
Koshy.
Koshy. All right, no,
Koshi,
and we'll be crossing over to him, Shane. And he's got his travelling companion who now is a fixture, must-go travelling companion.
Who?
Mark Barretta.
Oh, Barretta.
Because...
oh, no, come on.
That's... We think that we're not sure what that is, but
No.
Mark bending over backwards, or in fact bending over forwards for him, and so he is a must be on the trip travel companion, Mark Barretta, when Cocky goes anywhere.
Koshi. No, we're looking forward to having him, of course. Big announcement coming.
How would you pronounce
David
K-O-C-C-H? You say chocolate. There's a bloke who does the golf in America called Coke. They call it, I mean, it's just getting around the word cock. And it's cock, surely.
Given that he's been on television for a long time,
Can I
known as
ask a
David
question,
Koch,
please?
we'll
Is
run
that
with it as well.
okay?
Yep.
Beck, congratulations last week. Thought you were
thanks,
amazing.
Paul.
Well done.
Thank you.
Fantastic. But the real story was what was written on your hands. You had wonderful reviews, of course. Everyone was really pumped with the way you went. Not
Thank
so
you.
you, Jim. Bad luck about that. But it was all about your hand. What was written on your hand? And can you please tell us? And please don't lie. I'm sure you don't lie as it is, but please tell us the truth.
Do you really want me to?
Yes.
No,
yeah.
don't.
What was on your hand? You had lots of writing on your hand, and a lot of people
There we
picked it
are.
up
You
during
can
the
see
show.
it there.
Yeah, there it is, actually.
Yes. So what
Looks
was
like
on
I
your
haven't
hand?
washed for 12 months.
Well, what's on it, Rebecca?
It's really boring.
Well, tell us.
Well, yeah.
It was just really boring. It was I had a lot of radio interviews in the morning,
Right.
talking to people who I wasn't familiar with. I just
Yes.
had their names written on my hands.
And you actually couldn't wash that off by the time you got to the show.
I know, isn't that bad?
That
It was
is
about 12 hours later.
Sam's tradition is to have a bubble bath. I have a shower. So you didn't have a wash at all before the show?
Well, I
no
did.
soap?
It just was a very strong pen.
Do you need Channel 9 to actually get you some soap, or do you
Yeah.
need a bit of a hand with that? Now, we know you're lying because this is what really was written on her hand. Have a look at this.
Here it is.
And it says there, it's Brayshaw, not Bradshaw. She didn't even know the name, Jim.
That's it, James. Champagne.
Is that, no, that's legit. That's true.
I didn't want to muck it up on my first night because you never
Champagne
speak to me
comedy
again.
from you, Shane.
Otherwise known as flog.
You'd want to improve from that. Hey, let's welcome Brent Harvey, everybody. Always great to see us. Been an extraordinary career, Boom, and obviously we have a lot to do with each other, but 6 goals on the weekend. It's taken you into your 400th game to set the 6-goal mark, and an opportune time to do it.
Yeah, it certainly was. Pretty good week to do it, I guess. We only won by 5 points, so I got a couple of cheap ones, no doubt about that. My big mate Drew Petrie looked after me for my 6th. Went back and thanked him. He probably owes me another 200. So, but yeah, it was good to get the win down in Tassie.
Very windy down there too. I think we've got some vision here of the set shot. Have a look at this. This is your big banana, the Terry Alderman outswinger. Look at that, come hooping back. Beautiful.
A little bit lucky there, I think.
What a beautiful kick. Another person, look at this, look at the wind take this. But there was another person, one of the commentators, who had great difficulty with the wind. Have a look and see how the very famous Derek Burner went. I think he's channeling Donald Trump at the moment.
Oh, no.
Look at it. Hey.
He'd be
we love
devastated
Derek.
at that.
He's cocky.
He's not going to like that, Jim. That's all you're doing.
Now,
devastated.
incidentally, I've got a very interesting thing to tell you about the wind in Hobart in that segment I do.
Your
on the
rant?
The
Yes.
rant.
The
That's
rant
right, it is,
bit?
Rebecca.
Oh, we're looking forward to that.
You won't
Okay.
believe it, but it's true.
Boomer, you're looking set to break this record, this Michael Tuck record, 426 games. That is an extraordinary achievement. So congratulations, you're set to do that about round 9.
Long way to go. Yeah, long way to go.
I know you want to play down this, but do you think about those milestones? I mean, you must, because it is huge, and
Yeah,
it's
you
probably
do.
going to stand for a long, long time.
Yeah, you do a little bit because every radio interview or any TV interview you
That's all
do,
they talk about, and
that's
now
all they
I'm
want to
just
talk
asking the
about.
same question. Sorry, Boomer.
Yeah, so that's fine. But when I'm sitting at home, and I know we've got Dane Swan on the show tonight and Bob Murphy last week. You've only got to see that they've got season-ending injuries that if you look too far ahead, you can get caught up in it. So I don't think about it too much when I'm at home with the kids or just thinking about my own football.
Yeah.
It's more of a week-to-week thing, and if I'm playing good enough football, that sort of stuff will just take care of itself.
Boomer, I saw a good headline in the week, and it said, Boomer isn't just good for 37, he's just good. Which I thought that was fantastic, because you're probably sick to death of talking about your age. But surely you must be thinking now, and I know your manager wants to talk about this in round 17, but I want to talk about this now. Are you going to play next year?
That's the bloke next to you, I guess.
Well, have you got a contract for him under your
Come
desk
on,
there,
Jim,
Jimbo?
sign him up.
Come on.
But I did have this same question asked of me today when Boomer was in my presence, and I said, I'll tell you what we're going to do.
What are we going to do,
I'm
Jim?
going to sign him until he's 70. He's going to end up running. That's what we're going to do. He'll take over from Carly in the property room. He'll take over from Orb Devlin screwing the studs in because I'm sick of answering questions about your kind. I've had 10 years of it.
No, I'm a bit the same. I'm a bit the same as well. I think with Brad, we go into his office. It's exactly the same time for the last 6 years, around 15, 16. He gives me a little wink and I know what that means. Other than that, it's, like I said, 1 week at a time, Sam.
And I'll tell you what, your kids still love you, Boomer. I love
They do?
this footage.
I hope
Driving
so.
in the car, opening a package, an AFL figurine, and have a look at Lucy and her
Lacey,
reaction. Lacey, sorry.
You stupid man.
And look at the reaction. She got a Boomer Harvey action figure. Don't you love that? That is fantastic.
I was in Tassie for a couple of days, so they missed me, mate.
Oh, right, yes. Life size.
David
too.
Armitage is also here, and the Saints are in very, very good order. Great to see you, Armitage.
for having me.
And coming off a really, really good performance, a complete performance against the Pies. I know it pressures what you build your game around, but your harassing, tackling and the way that you went about it as a collective was really impressive.
Yeah, that's right. It was, you know, we played 3 really good quarters against Port Adelaide in the first game. Second game, Bulldogs probably smashed us. Well, they did around the contest. And then, yeah, third game in against the Pies, we really got our game plan going and you know, that comes off the back of pressure. So it was good to get the 4 points, Semi.
Yeah, what is the game plan just for the uninitiated? What is it again?
I can't tell you
just run
that.
through it again quickly.
I couldn't tell you that.
Hey?
Well, kick the ball through the goals. From back line, well, it'd be good to get it out of the centre first, then get it into the forward line.
Move it quickly down the forward line.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Something
the plan.
you hitherto up until now haven't done. Why don't you get it down there quickly all the time if it's a recipe for
there's
success?
another 18 players on the field. There's another 18 players on the field, and they'd try and stop you.
This is Footy 101, isn't it?
Speaking of which...
Apparently dogs got more intelligent. How's your dog going?
She's good.
Is she?
Yeah.
You weren't happy with the woman judge who said it was a mongrel or a bitch or whatever it was?
No, well, that's right. I wasn't happy with that.
Well, she judges thoroughbreds, mate.
Yeah, well, if I'd have known it was a thoroughbred one, I wouldn't have come in.
Hey, speaking of getting the ball down quickly to the forward line, you did the back half of that game on the weekend kick into a forward line without Nick Revolt and without Paddy McCartan, who had both been subbed out with concussion. And I see they're both, we haven't got to the teams yet, but I see they're both named in the squad for the weekend. Are they both going to play?
Yeah, as far as I know. Yep. As far as I know, they are. They've passed all their medical requirements that they had to do after their concussion. And, yeah, they're good to go. So it's a medical model and the docs had to tick it off, but they've done that and they're right to go.
And no doubt things are looking good at the Saints. Your last signing, Josh Bruce, is your last. You've had a few other ones, young ones. No doubt that's giving the team a lot of confidence that the young ones are thinking that this is the place to be. Things are really looking up for St Kilda in the next 3-5 years are looking positive.
Yeah, definitely. And a credit to Josh for signing for another 4 years too. It takes him out the end of 2020, so it's a massive contract. So congratulations to Josh. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of myself, Jack Stephen, these sort of core players have signed up with contracts, and the other boys, the young boys now, are jumping on board. So it's good to see. It's very exciting for the club and the future, and we're ready to go.
No, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying it. I was wondering what in God's name are you wearing, Beck? What is that?
Well, it's a top with no shoulders. You don't like it?
No, I didn't say that. I was just
well, you're wearing pants that are blue and a jacket that's
that's
black.
That's because I got Cocky's jacket on.
Oh,
I'll get it off. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Now, you just said that someone is going to do a concussion test. Did you say that?
They've already done it.
They've already done it.
What is it? How hard? What is a concussion test?
Oh, I'm sure we can arrange one for you.
What?
To see
how hard would
it
it be to pass a concussion test if you didn't have concussion?
That's a good question.
Yeah. What that is.
It's tricky.
There have been players, Boomer, over the journey who have failed at not concussed.
Absolutely. I think we've got one down there, James.
Who is it? Who
is it? I won't say his name.
Okay.
Lockie Hansen.
You should do a live one on Sam. Absolutely.
Yeah, can we do that?
Show. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tonight.
We'll do one for you, Sammy.
Yeah, give it a go. Have a crack.
So you're saying, any of you, that I couldn't pass a concussion test?
I think David's saying that.
Without having concussion.
We're strongly supporting it, but we don't have it on us at the moment. But I'm sure we can get one of the boys to track down the AFL concussion test, and then you can sit it.
List of
This is
questions.
just another red tape, puerile, stupid cottage industry thing to bamboozle the game with. You'd know if you got concussion, mate. If you can't see the audience from here, you've got concussion.
Cerebral health is, I think, reasonably
bullshit.
important to people. No, you can't keep getting knocked out and then just return and play.
No. How would you like to test the players then, Sam?
Yeah.
On the field, if they come off and they've had a hard knock, how would you like them to be tested?
No, on the day it's all right testing them, but you said
afterwards.
Afterwards.
Well, we'll get the test and we'll see how you go with it later on, Shane.
Jack Loney, I want to bring up some footage with him up against 2 Collingwood Giants. Have a look. He's half their size, but there was a lot of fight in the young man. What's he doing?
I'm not sure.
Hey,
That's silly.
And you
That's
didn't
silly,
want to come
Jack.
in and help the poor young man out?
Nah, let him go. He's all right.
Boomer, we talked to you about milestones, and I know you want to play that down, but these milestones may not have happened because during the pre-season, he had a nasty run-in with a chainsaw, and I think the chainsaw may have won.
Nasty.
What on earth happened?
Well, I know everyone's going to say he should have hired a
Hire a hubby?
hired a hubby or
Yeah.
whatever it is, but they would have laughed at me seeing the little shrub I was cutting down. So borrowed a neighbour's chainsaw and just give a little nick on the knee. A little bit lucky in the end, but only a tiny little gash.
You could have actually amputated your leg.
The chainsaw was going. It was a bloody big one too.
Yeah.
So I am lucky, but nah,
That's
still
bloody
here.
big chainsaw, bloody small leg. So you were lucky.
You told me none of those gags were going to come tonight, James.
Now, Beck, I've been Googling you and some good
Oh,
pictures.
hello.
Very nice. Well done. Now, I've done a bit of research and I've worked out that you have a fear or phobia of birds. Is this true?
Yes.
It is true?
Yeah, I'm not fond of birds.
Yeah.
Just birds.
Why
Yeah, just
would you be
birds.
scared of birds? They're beautiful.
No, they're not.
They're not.
No, they sort of flap around and they fly at me, they swoop me. I don't like them.
Has it got anything to do with the holiday you had way back in 1992, where we got a bit of footage of you
Oh, no.
down at Portsea?
Oh, come
the
on.
Madden family holiday.
That's
Is
exactly
this
what-
why? How do you feel when you watch that back?
I actually can't watch that.
No. One thing you should never do on this show is let on that you have any fears or phobias.
I've
'cause
just learnt that.
We might sort of direct
I've
you in a
just
certain
learnt that.
area.
I
So
know.
if you just look up into the sky, you just never know what you might see.
I actually... You're so lucky they're not real. I'm nearly sitting on your lap.
You
Sorry,
nearly-
Jimbo.
Beck Madden, welcome to the Footy Show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a feeling this is going to
And
get worse.
You were
isn't
very
it?
lucky because I said at least put them on some fishing wire. Do not drop them on her yet. Maybe later in the show we'll see how it goes.
You actually very nearly uttered a word there that would have made you the shortest co-host of a footy show in the history. Speaking of which, we love this vision too. This came to us
Can you get rid of that? I can't move
a
over.
while back from the waffle. Have a look at the boundary umpire.
See how dangerous they are?
He wasn't
They
too happy,
can
this
be,
fella.
yes.
He's gone.
They're vicious.
Speaking of birds, Shane,
Absolutely, we're going to have a look at the first game. It's the West Coast Eagles taking on the mighty Tigers over in Perth. Friday night should be an absolute ripper. And the West Coast team, they were very good last week against the Fremantle Dockers. I thought the Dockers had a real crack, but the Eagles stood up, especially in the second half, and got themselves going. Kennedy is airborne, but what a massive game it is for the Tigers. They really need to show us what they got. Sometimes you can really make the season out of these away games. And I reckon if they can come together, get their skill level up to a whole new level, I have no doubt they can certainly take it to the Eagles. It's going to be a ripping game. Hunt comes in, Moore comes in. And, you know, this can certainly set their season on the right path if they can get over the Eagles. They need to start well, take the crowd out of it. And I'm going to tip the West Coast Eagles will win.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you there, Shane. Battle of the midfields, I think the West Coast midfield with Nat Nui and the likes will be too strong.
hey, Boomer. Interesting comments from Damien Hardwick that it was actually a blessing after the week they've had to get on a plane and get away as a group and get to Perth and play at a pretty hostile environment in Perth. How did you see that?
That's an interesting one. I think it's always good to go over the boys. You're with 22 blokes and you're having dinner and that bond's right there for that game. So I think he's on the right path, but I don't think it matters if you're still playing on a footy over with goalposts and stuff like that. But very interesting to see Adam Simpson come out today and say game on against Tyrone Vickery, because 2 years ago I think he broke Dean Cox's nose. And Coxie, as we know, he's on the coaching panel. So I think it'll be game on there. And I got the Eagles. I think the Eagles will win this one pretty comfortably.
Of course.
I'm not sure that it'd be a great thing to actually sit in a plane for 4 hours just as a bonding exercise, go over and play and
I'm
then sit
only
in it
quoting
for
the
another
coach.
4 hours and come back. I think we could bond better than that, couldn't we? Yeah, just stay home and do that. That is a long bow.
Well, I'm only quoting the coach. It might not be my own view.
No,
Phil.
he's spinning it beautifully. It's
Right,
good.
the tip.
I like it. I don't think the bonding exercise will work over there. 4 hours in the plane should just about knacker them, I reckon, so I'm going for the West Coast.
Yeah, look, sometimes I suppose you have to take a positive out of a negative,
Yes,
don't you?
exactly.
You have to look at the positive. Yeah, it's almost mission impossible for Richmond, sadly, I think, this week. The Eagles for
Now, Jim, Beck, we've got a bit of feedback here. Last week after the show, Beck, you sent out a tweet and it said, couldn't have done it without the super slick at James Brayshaw.
Super slick, did I write?
Flog.
Gee, I must have been in a good
See you
mood.
next week on the AFL Footy Show. The only problem is, Beck, our James Brayshaw on the Footy Show is not actually on Twitter. So the guy that you connected with lives all the way over in England. And not only that, he was very, very chuffed. He's actually sent us in a bit of a message.
Has he?
Hi Beck, thanks for the tweet. I can see why you got confused. I'm the managing director of a sales agency here in Windsor in England, and well, Jim is a low-grade ex-cricketer who likes getting nude in public. Anyway, thanks for the tweet, and look forward to hearing from you again. Cheers.
Your namesake, James
You
Brayshaw.
made his year.
Yeah,
I
couldn't
did.
squeeze me into the text or the tweet or whatever it is. Just was great to be on with Jim.
I only had a photo of Jim. I didn't get a photo of us together. I'll do that this week.
When are you
like.
getting
I
on
could
Twitter,
arrange that.
Sam?
Hey?
When are you getting on Twitter?
Oh, we're getting on Twitter. Oh, I'm not on Twitter. No, it's just a stupid thing, Shane. It's just a pointless one of those social media.
So what if
stupid
everyone in the
things.
audience is on Twitter? What do you say to that?
Well, get a life.
Oh, on that note, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much, Fossey. We'll have much more of the Footy Show right after this break.
Fossey!
3, 2, 1.
Tonight on the Footy Show, he may be down, but he's not out. Collingwood champ Dane Swan joins us live in the studio. The Force is back on the podium. Will this bloke ever stop blowing his own trumpet? Put a sock in it, Sonny. We'll cross live to Adelaide's Rory Sloane to find out what's in store for returning Swan Kurt Tippett. Stone the Crows. Damien Barrett returns with the biggest news in footy. And the Footy Show Stakes is about to stampede right through your lounge room. Get cracking, chompers. Tonight on the Footy Show.
The Footy Show Stakes.
All set. Red light flashing. What's this? Hardwick and Buckley gone out way too early on contract extension. And the rest are racing. James Brayshaw jumped out well on Tassie Takeover. Closely followed by Jeff Kennett, also on Tassie Takeover. Ross Lyons struggling, but not quite as much as Jordan Spieth on Major Meltdown, who's just ridden into the drinker. Making ground now, the Collingwood Party Bus. Oh no! It hit the Montague Street Ranger. And now, in a separate incident, folks, Aaron Sandilands has taken a tumble, completely squashing Ross Lyon and any future plans. In the clear, officially, it's Nathan Fock on drugs. What drugs? And gee, the weather's closed in from across the Tasman, bringing blustery conditions and the veteran Boomer Harvey. Oh, there's a sad sight, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Sandilands getting stretchered off, and the Collingwood Party Bus being stripped. It's Brayshaw by a head. Jeepers! It's Kennett by a head. It's Boomer, but down the outside, swamping the field, it's the St Kilda Party Tram. A ring-a-ding-ding. It's all over, folks.
Here on the Footy Show. I think the Collingwood Party Bus must make an appearance every single week. Speaking of Collingwood, we have the man that everyone wants to hear from, Dane Swan, up very shortly. But we have a very important game to get to on the weekend, and it is the Mighty Hawks v St Kilda. We had a big out for Hawthorn as well. Josh Gibson is out with a hamstring. Schoenmakers is out, and Jono O'Rourke. In, a big in, Luke Hodgie. Hodgie makes a return from that fractured arm. Tim O'Brien and Daniel Howe. Out for St Kilda, Dylan Robertson, Webster with a quad injury, out with a hamstring. And in comes Lee Templeton and Blake Acres. Hawks have won their last 15 at Aurora.
Yeah, they were awesome in that last quarter against the Dogs. They just rotated the midfield a bit, put Sean Berger in the middle, and they lifted. I do have a fat stat because Bill thinks I'm getting fat and I need to take over from him, so whatever he does, fat stat. This Saturday, 5 matches will be played. The date will be the 16th of the 4th 16, which is a mathematical phenomenon because the day and year are both equal to the month squared. This will be the first time an AFL match will be played on a date of this nature. What? Sorry I had to do that, but that is just so in saying that, I thought the Saints were awesome last week, but I think too much experience will get the Hawks across the line. I have no idea what that all means, and I don't know what some of those words mean.
Well, you've lost me.
Thank God you read it and not Bill. That's all I have to say. Now, Armour, this used to be a home game for you back in the day until you handed it over to the Hawks. You got any chance of beating them down there?
Well, we beat them last time we played there.
Righto.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have because they've won their last 15 in a row.
No, it says here. The most recent was in round 19, 2009.
Oh, right. So that was the last time you
We
played
there. Yeah, so we won.
Righto.
So we'll go again.
So that's
a while
8 years ago. That's 8 years ago.
It is a while ago. Do you want to go on that form?
Boom.
Great to see Lee Montagna getting 40 touches last week. Had it on a string, Armo.
Yep.
The fact that it's in Tasmania, mate, I'm going against the Saints. I reckon the Hawks will get there.
That's all right.
He got you on a technicality there, Jim, and the technicality was that he was right.
He was.
Now, it does seem incongruous, doesn't it, that there's no AFL team out of Tasmania. We're in every other state. I know the reasons. I'd like to hear them again, incidentally, why we can't put a team down there. But we're in every other state, and they are a big football state. And
Top 3 Tasmanian players, Sam, who are they?
Baldock.
Right?
Hart, Royce Hart.
Yep. And a full forward for Hawthorn.
Yeah, Hudson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put him in your top 3?
What?
I was just asking your top 3.
Well, I just told you.
Thank you very much.
Are we on air?
And we are.
Unfortunately, yes.
Boys, Matty Richardson, they've had some superstar footballers.
Dave.
I'm not sure the economy's big enough for us. That's one of the issues. It takes a hell of a lot of money to run a footy club, and you've got 2 economies from 2 parts
So
of the state.
GWS have got it by the throat up there in the backwater.
There are 3.5 million people there.
Oh, yeah, and
500,000.
3.5 million of them don't go to it.
Yes, they do. They are going to it. It's a very successful... They're going to win the flag, GWS. They're a very, very good team.
This year?
Not this year. But they will very soon be right in the thick of it.
So Tasmania sponsor Hawthorn, yet they don't have enough money to have their own team. How does that work?
Because you need about $40 million, Shane, to run a footy club.
There's a big sponsorship.
They've just spent 30 million going over to China last week.
You got a tip for us?
They've got to play a game in China, aren't they?
Well, we're going to get to that later. You've got a tip in this game here.
They're not playing one in Tassie.
Maybe you can do street talk there.
They play 7 in Tassie.
Pick the Saints, Sam.
Who's playing?
The Saints. Just say Saints. Pick the Saints, mate.
Turn it up. Oh, my God. No, Hawthorn.
I'd like to tip St Kilda because David's eyeballing me here and wanting me to, but I just can't. Sorry.
Hope you
Hawks
win,
for me.
All right,
Yeah.
now, our great friends at Sportsbet, of course, jump in every week. A 5-leg multi on the head-to-head market of any AFL match with Sportsbet. If one leg fails, they'll give you your cash back up to $50. Cold hard, as we always say, into your Sportsbet account if one of your 5 legs in the multi doesn't get up. To get involved, download the app today, and please remember to gamble responsibly. Talking about footy clubs that are going very, very well. The Adelaide Crows are in fine fettle. They've won their last 2 matches on the back of a midfield that is going beautifully. So we decided we'd get this man on the link from Adelaide. He's one of the best midfielders in the comp, and he's been good enough to join us live from the Alma Hotel in Norwood. And I speak of Rory Sloane. Rosa, welcome. Hey, I know you're at the Alma, of course, a pub that you part-own with the great Mark Rasciuto and Patrick Dangerfield and Tex Walker, so it's got a nice flavour of AFL footy. Paddy's gone out, and yet you haven't missed a beat. The midfield numbers have been very, very good.
No, it's been good. We've never just relied on one guy to run our midfield, and we're a very team-orientated midfield. And I mean, guys like Jared Lyons have come in. You've seen both the Crouch boys come in. Matty Crouch in particular has stood up amazingly. So gelling well at the moment, and we're lucky we got a good forward line as well. It's kicking some goals for us.
And what's happened to the big Texan? You were going to be doing this cross with him, but he's decided not to front?
No, he decided not to front. He doesn't put too much time in. I'm here running it by myself. There's no danger, no roo here, so I'm left to pour beers by my own here.
Aren't you, Pat Malone? Hey, Rory, good to see you. So much talk about your forward line this year. Jenkins, Betts, Tex Walker, Lynch. What has gelled this year? Are you doing anything different? Because you just seem in sync and it's paying dividends.
I know those boys love getting it in, or love for us midfielders to get it in nice and quickly, but no, not much has changed really. I think just another year with these guys gelling together. I mean, Tommy Lynch and Josh Jenkins are the tightest of mates, and speaking of Josh as well, Josh is such a powerhouse. He can win his own ball on the ground, but most importantly for us, he puts it on the ground for guys like Eddie and Eddie, Charlie hasn't played yet, but Mitch McGovern, these guys are so good on the ground that we just want Josh to play his role down there as well. So, yeah, those boys are certainly up and about around the club at the moment.
Rosa, we also saw this vision, speaking of the big forwards, Texans, the main man, the skipper, of course. We were concerned about this pre-match.
What is going on?
What is this, please?
It's working.
Tex dancing away there. He's got to work on his dancing skills. I think Charlie Cameron's going to take him under his wing in his school of dance. So, yeah, expect Tex to improve on the dance floor soon.
Hey, Rory, what did you think of Cameron Mooney fresh airing Josh Jenkins during the week? Pre-match?
Yeah, we...
Goes to shake hands and then he pulls away. Oh. Hey, that's
this happens to the best of us. I mean, I got burnt by Julian de Stoop once at the Brownlow as well, I remember, and it's never nice to get burnt on TV, but this boys love this after the game. We found this straight after the game in the ice bars and it passed the time nicely.
Well, you're going to love the next bit of footage. Tony Jones, Channel 9's very own, and Mark Viduka, soccer champion. Have a look at the MCG. And look at him, fresh air, Tony Jones.
Well done, Mark. You did that very well. Well, look, all the very best for Thursday night, mate. Yeah, Tone, good on you.
There's nothing worse in football, I don't think, than getting burnt, so I feel for him as well.
Rory Sloane, number 29, obviously a number sake of mine, so I take a little bit of interest in him. I played on him a few times. Has he taken up a little bit of void from Paddy Dangerfield? Because he's had it on the string, running off half-back with Smith.
Rory Laird,
was that?
Yeah, Rory Laird.
Yeah, he's look, he's one player. He came off the rookie list of us, and he's done everything right over the last couple of years. And his competitive nature, and his ability to win the ball. He's one of the smallest boys we've got, but he certainly cracks in. And now he's starting to provide that run off half back. So I know Brodie Smith is certainly welcoming that, because he used to be the only one who provided a bit of that run, and now all the defenders are chipping in. So we're really happy with the way the defenders are working, and that's been probably the biggest thing Pikey's wanted to implement, is to get our defence right and play a bit of team D, which is certainly why we're kicking a bit bigger numbers this year.
Rory, you mentioned Paddy Dangerfield. I thought you might have actually just wiped him from your memory altogether, but you're happy to speak about him. I've got some good news for you. I mean, there's talk in Adelaide this week that perhaps you're a better team without him, but I've got some good news for you. When Gary Ablett left Geelong, they went on and won another flag that year. They had Buddy Franklin leave Hawthorn and they won a flag the following year. So pretty much you've already got two hands on the cup. How do you feel?
Well, I know you'd be very happy, Rebecca, about him down there.
Yeah, I am pretty happy.
I bet. But as I mentioned before, we've had these young guys that have really stood up, and it just gives them a crack as well. And you've seen Wayne Miller come in. We also recruited Troy Menzel, Dean Gore. These guys are playing amazing footy for us in our SANFL, and expect these boys to play throughout the year also.
All right, stick around, Rosa. We're going to have a look at this game, and it is going to be a beauty. The number one team in the comp, the Sydney Swans, head to Adelaide to take on the Crows. And this may well be the game of the round. And there is the big Texan. Lynch comes back in after, of course, the birth of his baby, which was absolutely brilliant for him. So it's nice to see him back playing for the Adelaide Crows. The Swans doing nothing wrong. And some of the young players that they've been able to introduce are just so impressive. So, including Papley, who is an absolute beauty. So they are doing, as I said, everything right at the Sydney Swans. On top of the ladder, undefeated. Shane, what's going to happen at the Adelaide Oval?
They are the best skilled side at the moment, the Adelaide Crows, and that is why they will win and continue the good form. So the Crows will win.
Yeah, I agree with you, James. Match of the round. Sydney's midfield are really strong. Luke Parker, he's a star, averaging 33. But I think home ground advantage, Adelaide.
Well, I know one thing, it'll be a high-scoring game. Both teams are in the top three for scoring this year, so I'm with Armo, home ground advantage, the Crows as well.
Well, I don't think it's any coincidence that they haven't lost a game, the Swans, which would probably mean they're in very good form.
They are.
So I think they'll go over there and beat Adelaide. That's what I think.
Well, Swans like playing at Adelaide Oval. They like playing there a lot, but I'm going to go Adelaide at home, Sammy.
Two questions for you, Rosa, as we let you go. Firstly, I think Kirk Tippett makes his first trip back to the Adelaide Oval as a Sydney Swan. The reception's going to be pretty hot.
Yeah, I presume so. A couple of fans maybe, but I mean, it doesn't change anything for us at all.
We better let you go before that fire in the background goes out, mate.
Watch my hair, it might start singeing soon.
Yeah, I'll get text to come and put another log on it or something. So it's going well over there. You're very well researched, Beck. You've asked more questions tonight than I've asked since I've been on the show. Never.
23 years.
23 years, I've never asked as many questions. It's extraordinary.
It is very extraordinary. Hey,
Very
Rory,
good.
at the Alma Hotel, as I just said, a famous establishment, eastern suburbs of Adelaide. You're involved in it with Tex and Danger and Roo. What is going on there, by the way? A bingo night? What's coming up?
Yeah, bingo tomorrow night with one of our managers, Angela, is actually shaving her head for Leukemia Foundation, and myself and Tex are going to do it. So anyone in Adelaide, come along. And I mean, if you boys do come over, I appreciate you doing it here for me. So we'll always shout you a beer in the feed as well, and just make sure you put it on Danger's tab, because that's what I've been using since he left.
Hey, great to see you, mate. You're playing brilliant footy as a club, and you are individually too. Always give us plenty of your time. We love it. Thank Rory Sloane, everybody. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Jim, we've got a bit of feedback here. There was plenty of chat during the week with the introduction of the new look for the $5 note. There it is.
Yes.
Hello, God bless the Queen. A lot of people weren't happy with that. They were saying we should have Lady Beck. Here we go.
Yes.
I think that's magnificent. And some people were even suggesting there was plenty of controversy back in Sam's day too. And here it is, way back in 1902.
There it is.
5 shillings, and there he is, the old Foss, the old leather bag, right on the $5 note.
And the words controversy.
Well, it depends how you say it.
No, you say it controversy. That's
No,
how you
I say it very differently.
I know, because you're illiterate.
But the joke was that you were around as a young man back in the days of the shilling
been
note.
lost on me, Jimbo.
You hadn't noticed that?
Yeah, no,
I just wanted to back over it, just in case you were wondering.
No, I noticed.
Feel
Was
you
that
did,
legit?
brother.
Hey?
Was that true? No.
Don't be a smart ass, Shane.
We need to get to a break because Sam's rant is coming up
no.
when we return to the Footy Show. Welcome back to the Footy Show. Thanks to Nissan, of course, wonderful sponsors of ours, as our home timber and hardware. Go where the trading's going, sportsbet.com.au. Download the mobile app today. Just a reminder, Dane Swan is not far away. David Koch on a link from China. We've got Mailbag, What the Foss, all of the stuff you love on the Footy Show. Now, Beck.
Can't wait for that, Jim. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I really liked this segment last week, even though he made a little error, but I'll get to that.
Oh.
Hello?
I made an error, did I?
He made a little error. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Sorry, Fossy, there was just a little...
I used to shop at Fossey's. I used to shop at Fossey's.
Last week you said...
Yeah, go on.
Last week you instructed the general population how to speak proper.
That's properly, yeah, I did.
Properly.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, what are you going to do this week? It's now time for Sam's rant.
Speaking of wind down Tasmania, you won't... This is
We
true.
haven't started yet. We need to get Shane to hit the button. Righto, go.
Good luck, Sam. Hope it goes really well, you flog.
You'll think I'm making this up. And I'm not about to dish Qantas, but it's no wonder they have a reputation for being the safest airline in the world. We were loaded aboard QF 746 from Hobart to Melbourne on Friday last, because it was pretty windy. Me and 200 other travellers in the jet. We were strapped in, ready to go, and after 15 minutes I noticed the door was still open.
Really?
So I got the in-flight magazine out and browsed through it. Very, very interesting stuff in there. A lot of ads for watches and cars and crap in amongst the vomit bag. Half an hour later, the captain comes on. Now, listen to this. This is true. He says, g'day. Oh, he didn't. He was a very nice man. He said, the plane is too heavy and we can't take off because the wind is blowing in the wrong direction. We and the 200 passengers looked around to see if we could see the cameras because we thought we might be on candid camera. And he said, and if the plane is still too heavy, if the wind doesn't drop, we'll have to unload the luggage. And then he said, I promise you, anyone who was on QF 746, ring in and tell me this, I'm making this up. And then he said, if it's still too heavy after we've taken all the luggage off the plane, don't worry about the people flying interstate and going overseas on connecting flights, he said, we're going to have to unload some passengers, at which stage the bloke next to me said, why don't we all get off the plane and take all the luggage off and they can just fly it home on their own. I'd had a couple of light pilsners at this stage, so I wanted to micturate up at the front of the plane, micturate, which is have a piss, and I spoke to the hostie or the in-flight attendant up there, and I said, why don't, I promise you this is all true, I said, why don't we take off on the right-angle runway, the other one, so that, she said, because it's not long enough.
That's it.
So here's a tip. At this stage, we were allowed to use our mobile phones because we've been on the plane for an hour just sitting strapped in there. So I rang the Weather Bureau and I said, is there any chance the wind might change before the weekend comes? Because I got to get back in the next day or two, or we'll be just sitting on the plane waiting for the wind to change.
Long rant.
So here is my travel tip.
Yes.
If you want to fly to Hobart, best to get a long-range weather forecast, because if the wind is blowing in the wrong direction, you'll become an instant resident of Tasmania.
Long one. I was very generous.
That was a long rant.
Might have set a rant record, that one. That's just 2.5 minutes long.
2 minutes 40, I thought it was.
They're a great airline. We sat there and they said the plane's too heavy, the wind is blowing in the wrong direction.
All right. We just saw Joel Selwood there on his aeroplane commercial.
Did we?
Which links into the very big match on the weekend. It is Essendon v... It's at the MCG. That thing scares me too, Poppy. Got a couple of big outs for Essendon. Ryan Crowley has actually been omitted. Comer has been omitted and Merritt as well. And in comes Bird. First game for Essendon. Laverndi comes in and McKenna as well. The Irish rookie will be playing. Out, there's a big out too. Corey Enright, the big backman. McCarthy has been admitted and Jake Kolodjasny misses out. And Tom Lonigan comes in. He had a little bit of an injury last week. Murdoch and the little man, I like Corey Gregson, he comes in as well. And it's obviously James Kelly and Matthew Stokes. They're up against old Geelong boys, up against their old side for the very first time. So big match at the MCG, Croft.
Yeah, it's going to be big. I reckon Essendon are having a crack, but they're just not up to it. It's good experience for the young kids to get out there and play against some really good players in the Cats, and I just think they'll have a win by over 50 points.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Shane. Geelong have been really good, and I think they'll win.
Geelong and Essendon haven't played at the MCG since 2010. I find that hard to believe, but it must be true. It's written here. Yep. Corey Enright is being managed, Beck, as you just mentioned.
Yeah.
He's only 34. What's going on there?
Yeah, what is going on there? We're all 37, 38
5 years ahead of him.
He's soft, isn't he?
But I think this is a no-brainer. The Cats will get over the line.
Of course.
Well, it's quite obvious. Geelong will win, and because Essendon won't win another game.
Well, they might win another game, Sam.
Don't boo, mate. Like, honestly, you'd lose... Well, they go through against 35-year players. You couldn't... How they beat...
Exactly. You said they weren't going to win a game. Now, what?
Yeah, no, they won't win another game.
All right, Beck.
All right, I'm getting accused of tipping Geelong every week, but I'm going to tip Geelong. Absolutely go the Cutters.
No reflection on John Wall's fault, because I said if he wins a game, he's a genius, so nothing to do with him. He's a star.
He's already qualified. Hey, this is the country game, by the way, which I think is a really good initiative. The Power Core Country Game, a celebration of the country, acknowledging the contribution of rural and regional communities to Australia, the great links between the bush and AFL footy. Both teams are wearing country-themed jumpers. There's the Bombers one being held up by Boomer, and I think the Geelong one...
You can't talk about the country and the Cats. What about this game?
It's the brainchild of
Kevin Sheedy. He's not a country boy. Kevin Sheedy is not a country boy. He's from Prahran, and I'm from the country, from Drury. I've been to Urana, Oaklands, Finley, Kilmore,
You look like the
Canago.
What are you dressed as?
Tin Man.
What happens? What do you see when you drive into a country town? What's the first thing you see? A wheat silo. And that's what I am. I'm a wheat silo.
You look like the Tin Man from the Wizard of
Because I
Oz.
kicked the footy over a wheat silo one day. Have a look at this.
Oh, no.
This is in Marula, of course.
I
We
remember.
had a few frothies with me mates, and we at a pub, and I've gone, have a look at this. Bang! very happy, that bloke. So this is what it's all about, Jimmy boy. Let's have another look at it, OK?
Nice shot,
Straight
Bill.
over the top.
Oh,
that is
yeah.
100 metres high.
100 metres.
I am a country boy and I should be talking about this game because that's what it's all about, the country. We lived on the country's back, the sheep's back, Jim.
Thank you,
This
Bill.
is what it's all about.
You look like you've eaten a few of them now. Let's have a look at the... This is absolutely factual, by the way. Darren Lyons, the Mayor of Geelong, is just
good man,
battling a
Willie.
little.
In plenty of trouble.
So our great friends at Sportsbet have framed a market as to who might replace him.
Oh.
Have a look here. Bill Brownless is way out in front. Daryl Summers. Our own Rebecca Madden. Yeah, you're nicely
Bill's
placed there.
$5.
And then the Force...
What are you, Beck?
$51.
Fair enough, too.
That's a good bet, I reckon.
The Force is also featuring there Cameron Ling, Daryl Summers.
Gary Ablett Jr.
Gary Ablett Jr. So we just hope, Bill, that were you to greet the judges in that race, that you'd handle yourself a little more eloquently than the last time you entered public life.
Yeah. I was caught at the door. What do they call it? Doorstop. They had no idea what to do. So,
What do you got
but this will be a
underneath,
good
Bill?
game. It'll be good for the Cats to play against their old mates.
Righto.
Kel and Stoker, of course.
Bill, what do you got underneath? Any clothes at
I've
all?
got a tin. I look the Tin Man. Oh, there, it just popped out. On the Tin Man, and I've got underneath.
Yes, Force, before we get to know that.
This is not a bad spray. This is the woman from Susan Halliday. She's from the Human Rights Commission, said of the council down in Geelong. This is in the paper. She said this is what the council were.
Quote.
Thank you, Bill. Aggressive, belligerent, threatening, disempowering, sexist, dogged, bombastic, arrogant, rude, spiteful, frightening, demeaning, belittling, objectified, exploitive, calculated, humiliating and intimidating. Don't tell me that's all you could come up with. God almighty. That probably rules me out, but that's not a bad spray.
No, that's a reasonable go. Thank Bill Brownless.
Is that all?
Off with you, Pat.
To see the wizard, Bill.
While we're doing the clapping, Damien Barrett is the best news break in football, bar none. And he's made his way in.
Start tonight with Essendon, and the man that Essendon Footy Club has identified as its next captain, Dyson Hempel, is about to launch an unprecedented legal claim against his club for more than $1 million compensation. That's in relation to the WADA suspension that he has and others have received. There are several planks, we believe, to this legal action. Obviously, the main part is the loss of earnings that are at play at the moment. There's also potential performance bonuses attached to the standard player contract as part of this claim. We also believe there's been a loss of private sponsors in Dyson Hempel's personal arrangements, and there's also a reputational damage component to this overall claim as well. This case is going to be the biggest compensation case faced by Essendon, and it's certainly going to be the most delicate one because it is the man they do identify as their next captain. It's the man they want to keep, and it's the man that is currently, via his management, receiving offers to play elsewhere from 2017.
Damo, how on earth do you play at a club and sue them at the same time? Surely that's not workable.
No, that's what is probably going to become the most pertinent issue out of this, what lies ahead. There's going to be 11 others doing the same thing. That they won't be for the same amounts,
Right.
and they won't be as delicately
That's a huge
negotiated. But at some stage, the commercial element to what Dyson is doing will become, you'd think, wouldn't you, intertwined with the emotional element to it.
You can't separate them, I don't think.
He's going to attempt to.
And a very reasonable claim too, and every one of them should sue the AFL for botching the whole thing up, and the AFL should pay them all out.
I think the AFL will be party to some of the cases that do lie ahead. Just on the WADA matter, the Bombers' probably next most sought signature as it goes ahead is Michael Hurley, and we understand he's still undecided about his future. That is fact at the moment. He is undecided, but should he stay at the Bombers, and he is contracted, Jim, for 2017 as it stands, but should he stay, there is a strong likelihood that he will seek to have that contract torn up and a fresh one given. And should that be the case, the monetary value of that new contract would be $1 million a season or thereabouts. They're the sort of figures that are coming to Hurley through his management about potentially leaving the club. The Dockers, we know, 0-3 opening start to the season. The problems there are become obvious to others. Leading players in Lachie Neale and Chris Mayne, they are refusing at this stage to open talks on their futures beyond this year. There is a frustration of those men, Jim, with some aspects of the club's football department. And Neil in particular is creating a lot of interest. He's a South Australian, and the Crows, as we know, do have a lot of money left over from not having to pay Paddy Dangerfield, and they will be expected to be one of our main players for Lachie Neale should he decide to leave.
He's a good player.
Stephen Dank, in the news again this week. His involvement with the Melbourne Footy Club, it's again back in focus tonight, with Dank himself telling the Footy Show that he was at every Melbourne training session between November 2012 and early February 2013. And this is Dank as well, saying that the then Demons football operations manager, Neil Craig, and this is Dank's quote, had wanted to know how I could manage and maximise testosterone levels. He says he's still got records of 18 Demons players, and that includes Jack Trengove, who he has previously admitted to administering AOD 9604. Melbourne maintains that Dank wasn't part of their workings at that time, and Neil Craig, we've spoken to him today, he's denied anything untoward in any conversation that he's had with Stephen Dank in that period. He's also said that the AFL approved the club's operations around that time where everything was channelled through its club doctor. But the Footy Show has seen documents that relate to Dank's time at that club between those two dates in question.
So where's this heading?
Jim, it's going to be a situation. We saw that the AFL or the ASAD has reopened the Gold Coast situation. The AFL tonight has urged that Dank, should he want to, refer his information to ASADA, and we know that he has gone public with use of the word testosterone, and anything to do with testosterone and manipulation of, or potential manipulation of it, is normally something that is a red flag to a drugs agency body. So ASADA will be a watch this space on this when it comes to Melbourne. Just before I go, Carlton's #1 draft pick of last year, Jacob Wiedering, played only 3 games, but that's enough for the Blues to want to lock him away for up to 5 years. Within the next month, his management will sit down with the club and explore a future. It is going to be a longer-term deal, and it could well be a deal that does have him at the club until the end of 2020 on the back of those 3 games.
Could I just ask you, didn't ASADA clear Nathan Bock? Was it Nathan Bock?
They chose not to act.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I presume they said he was innocent. And then Stephen Dank, he's playing ASADA like a fiddle. So then he said, no, I gave him these banned drugs. He is making them look as silly as they are.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that.
No, he is.
Damo, we appreciate all the news that you break for us, and it's absolutely sensational. But we just wanted to stay here just for a second, because we did notice last week that when Beck came and sort of took over your dressing room, you were cast out into the car park, and well, we thought,
I did, he said,
given how wooden your performance was, that it had to be a one take, and then we had to look back and realise that there are 4 or 5 takes. Take a look.
That wasn't popular, was it? How can you muck this up?
Not bad, what do you want? That's it. I do this because I have to, and that is now it.
How can you not get that right? All you had to do was turn your head when the door opened.
It's not a strong suit.
Yeah, that's it.
I want to not do another one of those things ever again. Can you sign that off that for me?
Now, the acting was so
Judge on
good.
that, I'll sign off on it, yeah.
A lot of people don't know the acting was so good that Damo actually won a Golden Globe, and here he is accepting it. Congratulations, well done, Damo. Very, very good by you.
I reckon he does deserve an Emmy or an Academy Award. I like it. Well done, Damo. Sorry about that.
Well
All
done,
right,
brother.
we've got a lot more of the Footy Show right after this, including the superstar from Collingwood, Dane Swan. He'll answer all.
Dane Swan got smashed in his first contest.
He just gets caught underneath there, reaches straight for the foot and ankle, and he's in a lot of pain.
He doesn't stay down like that. No, he's hard, Swanee. He's really sore at the moment. He can't put any weight through that right leg of his. Yeah, let's hope he's all right.
The Collingwood superstar Dane Swan, please welcome him back to the Footy Show.
Sit down. Well done. Now, you haven't met Rebecca?
Oh, we've never met.
Get ready, she's got 12 questions to ask you.
Here we go.
Hey, Swanee, you're a premiership player, of course, a best and fairest winner, Brownlows, everything that you've done in your illustrious career. Have you played your last game of AFL footy?
I'll certainly hope not. but there's a bit of water going under the bridge before I figure that out, mate. So I certainly want to play again. I'd love to play this year, but we'll just wait and see how my foot heals. They said it's a pretty bad injury and usually takes a fair while to heal, but I'm going to try and come back reasonably early and see how we go.
That's a new slant on this story because most people had written you off for the year, so you think you're still a chance of playing?
I'm going to give it a go. It'll be late in the year. It's not going to be in the next month or so, but it'll be late in the year if I come back. But, there's heaps of factors to weigh in, how we're going, how my foot is, stuff like that, how I feel mentally. So there's a lot of things to go between now and then, but right now I'm just really worried on getting my foot right because, I don't have long left and I'd rather my foot be normal after footy than stuff it up and can't walk properly.
How you're going again is interesting because you were quoted even before the injury as saying that if you didn't get the sense that Collingwood were close to winning a flag and were going in that direction, that this would most likely be your last year of playing.
Well, I think they're going all right.
Yeah, OK, so that was the follow-up question.
Yeah.
Has their form as well as your injury now influenced your decision at all?
Oh, not yet.
No, not yet.
Absolutely not. It's round 3, so...
not yet, surely not yet.
No, not yet, mate. It's only round 3, so, hopefully we come out and win the next few and all will be forgotten. But we haven't started great, but in saying that, I'm just worried about... I'm in this for the next 6 or 7 weeks anyway, so there's not much I can do. So I'll probably know a lot more once I start being able to jog and run. I think I'm going to try and do that about the 3-month mark. So that's when I'll start to walk again and start to run and see how we go from there.
Swanee, how has the last 2 weeks been for you? Because you do a pre-season, it's a long pre-season, you're looking forward to it, you start playing and then you get this injury. How hard is it to stop and do nothing and then have to go through this operation?
Well, my Mondays have probably been better than the boys at the footy club after the way we've been playing, but... it's been...
But it's a real jolt to your routine, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You do it... I was on the ground for 20 seconds, so I wasted all the pre-season. So it's a pain in the arse, yeah. But I'm not bad at wasting time on the couch, which I'm pretty good at. They're certainly coming to a point where there's only so much TV and sort of basketball I can watch before I'm starting to get... I haven't seen sun for a month, so cause all I've been doing is sitting inside on the couch.
Any TV shows you'd recommend?
Where do you want me to start? I've watched 1,000 of them.
Cartoon Corner that you're on.
Kids WB, get it right.
What is it?
What have you been watching? You sit on the couch and just take it away?
My daily routine is I get up whenever I feel like it. I eat whenever I feel like I sleep whenever I feel like it. So what have I been watching? What did I just finish? I finished... so I watched pretty much watch every game of basketball about 2-3 o'clock in the arvo, then I finished Peaky Blinders. That was pretty good.
Peaky Blinders.
And then I'll probably have a nap in the afternoon.
Yep.
So do I.
And I'll wake up, have something to eat, watch a bit more TV, and then go to bed, watch a bit more TV.
Sounds awesome.
This is my day. Hang on, Jim. We want to know who's walking the dog.
Yeah, well, he hates me at the moment because he just looks at me all day and goes, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
He's got shifts with me because he just stares at me all day and goes, "Why aren't you taking me for a walk?" So he hates me.
Before you leave what he's doing every day, I just want to quickly ask, is it true, because you've got a decent flight of stairs at your joint, that you've moved out of your joint bedroom and into another one and the Dales and you are sleeping separately as we speak?
Well, I have a bed set up on the couch as well, so I'll go from the bed, my proper bed, to a bed on the couch, so... no, I'm on the middle level, so thankfully I can open the door from upstairs, so I don't have to go up and down the stairs. So that's why I haven't left the house, because it's a pain in the ass going down the stairs and coming back up, to be honest.
It's a technical term, that. Yeah. Now, you've been coming in here for many years. This is the fittest and best looking I've ever seen you. Injury and illness does you good.
Well, thank you, yeah. Well, that's what I planned this year.
Did you have to shave down for the operation or something?
I don't have any hair on my feet, so I'm not sure. They may have. I was under, so I was heavily medicated, mate. So who knows what they did to me? But I'm not sure. I don't think I had to, mate. No.
Swanee, you've spoken about Swanee, you've spoken about retirement before. You said at the start of the season that you were 50-50. I don't know if you were sort of joking there or not. You like to toy with the media a little bit. Obviously, with your injury, that's changed and it's put a different slant on things. So is that percentage change for you? Is your desire changed, or is it in fact buoyed you on to want to play more? I mean, you're an extremely decorated player. You've won a flag, you've won a Brownlow. Absolutely, huge achievements. When you look at that, you think, what is left to achieve on a personal level?
Yeah, not a great deal, obviously. I'm getting back and playing a game. Well, I guess over the next sort of 3 months will give me a real good feel of how I feel about actually if I miss footy and if I, after the 8-10 weeks, I might go, well, actually, I've got a real passion to play and miss being out there, not being out there and be able to help the side. I might actually, really miss it and go, that what makes me want to extend for another year and however long. But then I know that it might be like, I don't really miss it at all. So that's something that'll play out over the next sort of 10 weeks and see if I actually do really miss playing footy.
And then, I don't want to play devil's advocate here, but then Collingwood are obviously going to reassess their list at the end of the season. You're out of contract. What about if they turn around to you and say, oh, I don't want to say this, we don't require you anymore?
Well, then I won't be playing footy, will I? That's a pretty close game. I'll be going, well, if they say that, that's their opinion. And
is that a fear, though? Have you thought about that possibility as well?
I don't have any fear about not playing AFL footy. I think I'm ready for my next stage of my life. Now, whether that's this end of this year or the year after that, it'll come, and I'm actually really looking forward to the next stage of my life. Now, whether that happens this year or the year after, I'm not frightened of being sacked. I've nearly been sacked a lot of times, so to be let go. But I have Collingwood's best interests at heart too. I owe them a lot more than they owe me. So if we sit down with Bucks and then he goes, you know what, if my last 2 games I've played, I've done my medial in the last game against Geelong last year, and I've ruined my foot this year. So if they sit down and say we can't trust your body or what it is, well, I'm happy to shake hands and leave. But at the moment there's a fair bit to go on right now with my foot. So like I said, I'm just worried about getting my foot sorted, and then I'll know a lot more once I can get this out of the moon boot and then start walking around what my pain
in the ass.
I'll talk to the bosses here and I'll get you a job on this show if you'd like. Would you like a job on here?
Yeah, I'm going to have to steal someone's job though, so I don't really want to do that.
You can have my job, you can take over, or take over Sam, he might be around next year.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you've already got a job.
You're getting old.
Hey, let's have a look at this game. Collingwood-Melbourne, a very, very interesting game. Sunday, MCG. The Maggies desperate for a win and have got some very, very important players coming in. Tuvey, a very good defender, side bottom covering the ground, the speed of Varco. There's some nice ins, and the big American boy, Mason Cox, to debut potentially, and there's a big story as well. So that's a nice-looking Collingwood team. Melbourne, very good last week. Unlucky, in fact, against the Kangaroos. You can see Bernie Vince out suspended. There are all the ins, including Brayshaw, who probably has to lift. And Swanee, we're going to get your thoughts in just a sec. But boom, you had a close look at Melbourne last week, and they were very impressive.
Yeah, certainly did. First-hand what Melbourne are capable of. They just need a little bit of consistency in their game. Until they get that, I reckon they're going to struggle a little bit. So I'm going to go with the Pies.
Yeah, Dane Swan, who was Collingwood's best player last time, he's not playing, so I think Melbourne.
Flip of the coin, I'll probably go Melbourne because their form was okay on the weekend. Now, Dane, follow you on Twitter. Love your work. Now, you sent out a tweet, and here it is. It's legal to drive with your left foot on the pedals if your right foot is in a cast, yeah? Just asking for a mate. So, that wouldn't happen to be you going for a little drive, would it?
No, not at all. It's just a mate, so I cleared that up. And yeah, just not in peak hour. A bit hard on the pedal. Yeah.
Now, a serious question. It's going to take you 6 months to get running and get really going again, but is it true that you're pretty much going to halve that and have a crack in 3 months and it's all or nothing?
Well, because I play, obviously, an elite sport, we're going to try and push me back quicker. I think Matty Richardson said it was harder to come back from than a knee, but yeah, I'm willing to give it a go, and the pins it'll stay in my feet and then it'll stay in my foot, and we'll go from there. And it's pretty much just going to be guided on my pain and stuff like that. So I'm certainly going to try and come back as early as possible. So like I said, I'm in this through early June, and then start running that after that, and then just gradually build it up, because I'll be coming from a long way back, because I've lost my legs as skinny as they've ever been. I'm getting skinny fat now.
You know
so
that there's going to be a huge risk with trying that. You know that.
Yeah, well, you know, we play at elite sport, and if we're getting close to finals, that's why we play footy, is to play finals. And if I think, you know, if we're going that way, well, I certainly want to come back and make an impact. I still think I can make an impact late in the year if my footy's good enough. So I'm certainly going to be giving it sort of everything I've got once I can sort of start moving around. So we'll see how we go from there. But you know, I can't promise I'll be back this year, but I'll certainly want to try.
Foss? As you look at yourself, Dane, every part of your body is tattooed except the part we can see. Why don't you get this filled in here?
Well,
look at you. There's no you can think you're an untattooed man.
Well,
that's not your style, is it?
I can't get tattooed one spot at a time, so you know, I've slowly got to work on all the other spots before that happens.
And now, this is a real car. If you don't want to... This is not a joke, really. This is just if you want that to be in keeping with what's on your foot, you might as well slip your foot into that. It is a proper cast.
Yeah, well...
And there's a bit of meat inside it too. You can take home, give to the dogs.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. You're actually a week... you're a day late. I got the cast off yesterday, so... I might try and break my other foot for you so I can wear that. But we'll see
so that's not what you've got on there?
I've got a moon boot on now, so I was out of the cast yesterday.
Just a tip, Force, if you can, for this game.
A tip?
Yeah.
Yes.
This will be a clinker because both sides are shocking.
No,
no, well, they are.
When was the last time you had your leg in a cast?
Who went off?
Who's going to win?
Sides are bloody awful, they are.
Who's going to win?
Probably Collingwood.
Yeah, look, a lot of talk about Collingwood this week. I can't believe they're that bad, so I'm going to go the Pies as well.
Hey, Swanee, you're a huge member of our family. We love the fact that you've come in, and we hope you're not lost to AFL footy because you've got so much to offer. Good luck rehabbing. I know you'll be back on the footy show before then. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks for being here, Swanee. Thank you. Great to hear from the man. There is a lot more of the footy show right after this. Thanks, Swanee.
No worries.
Let's face it, Sam's mailbag has hair all over it. He's got the power. Chairman Koshi joins us all the way from China. In Almost Footy Legends, we review your highlights package. Plus, Sammy gets asked all the curly questions in What the Foss. Don't go anywhere.
The Footy Show. It's been a ripping show so far, but I want to get straight to this game because it is a very important one at Etihad this weekend. North v Freo.
Yeah, let's have a look at the North Melbourne side. Going very well. The Kangas. A few ins. Farron Ray, Hanson, Wood and Turner. Out goes Garner with a hamstring, but they got the 4 points. That's all you need to do. Fremantle haven't won this year. Very disappointing. Out goes Sandilands for up to 6 to 8 weeks. Griffin comes in. Hanneth comes in. Crozier, Tabata and Tucker. They really need... I thought they were OK against West Coast. I really do. Until Sandilands went down and really threw them out of whack. They have to win if they're going to make the finals. That is why I'm tipping a bit of an upset. Fremantle to get across the line this week.
Okay. Congratulations to Dorse on 150 games. Yeah, Freo struggling a little bit, but North are going very well, and I think North will win.
Mason Wood comes in. 30 possessions, 3 goals for Werribee on the weekend. So, unfortunately, with Taylor Garner coming out, you've got a like for like. Yeah, absolutely. He's in great form, young Mason Wood. He's a medium-sized hit-up player, so it'll be good to have him back in the forward line amongst us boys. Congratulations to your old teammate as well, Farron Ray, who got elevated off the rookie list today. So well done, Ray Farron.
Ray Farron.
Of course.
Well, you'd think at some stage Freo have got to come step to the plate, as we say, but probably won't be this week because North at home at Etihad. Very honest side, as I keep saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that your boys will get beaten at Etihad, but I said last week that if Freo lost last week, they're going to have a mini crisis. So I think they're going to be having a major crisis after this round. The Mars matchups are a big part of the footy show this year, of course. You can get stuck into them. We've got the most marks, and what about these two big clunkers, Josh Kennedy and Jack Revolt? Superb overhead, most disposals. Pierce Hanley and Aaron Hall. What about the season that young man's having? Most goals, the big Texan, and Buddy Franklin, and most handballs, Ben Cunnington, another very good player, and Lachie Neale.
who we spoke about earlier with Damien Barrett, marsmatchups.com.au. All right, we've had to throw things around a little bit because this man is available for us to cross up to China and speak to. Big announcement for the AFL and the Port Adelaide Football Club in Shanghai. We welcome the president of Port Adelaide, David Koch. Koshy, welcome.
James, how are you? Beck, thanks for having me on your show.
It's a bit of a turn-up, isn't it? Never thought I'd be speaking to you this way, Kochi. Very big announcement
I tell you
today.
what, your hubby Trent is loving the fact that you're not around to hear the office gossip anymore, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's right. Just for those who don't know, my husband is a cameraman and he works on Sunrise. Anyway, we're going right off topic because we had a very, very big announcement today, Koshi. But what on earth happened because you missed it? What happened? You missed the plane, we had the Prime Minister there, we had everyone there, and no Koshi.
No, I was sitting on a tarmac, would you believe, locked in a plane in Hong Kong for something like 9 hours. Didn't go anywhere because Shanghai was all fogged in. So, but look, it's not about one individual. It's about just a really historic day for the club, and we're really proud of the announcement and really grateful the Prime Minister announced it as well. A 3-year, multi-million-dollar deal to bring the game to Shanghai. So we're very excited about it.
Well, I'd like you to miss a photo opportunity, Koshi, but I want to know, mate, exactly what this is about. For people who have no idea what you're talking about, explain this historic deal to us.
All right, well, what we've been doing, James, over the last couple of years, we've been focusing on China, and we have this, Keith Thomas, our chief executive, has this great adage, give before you take. So we've been investing in China, in Auskick in southern China. We sponsor the Chinese national team, all a way of building bridges to China. It's our biggest trading partner. More Chinese tourists come to Australia than from any other country in the world. And we wanted to build a link that really said to Chinese business people who had interest in Australia, if you want to connect to community in Australia through footy, Port Adelaide is your footy team. And we've been inviting Chinese business people with Australian business visas to watch the game. And we had one particular gentleman at the Freo game last year, absolutely loved Aussie Rules, first game he's ever seen of it. And he said, I'd love to support you to expand what you're doing in China, and I'll sponsor what you're doing. So that includes trying to introduce Auskick to Shanghai schools, potential for the first game to be played in China for points for premiership, and also just building cultural links with China, taking our game to China.
Now, I don't want to put a dampener on this, David, but this is more a public relations...
No, Sam, shock me.
This is more a public relations exercise for the country, isn't it? It's nothing to do with the AFL or trying to get games played there. There's no point in doing that, is there?
Of course it is. Of course it is. Sam, look, you just think of the possibilities and you've got to think outside the square. You've got to try different things if we're going to grow the game. Most Australians, if they go to the United States, want to see an NBA game because it's America's game. They want to soak up the atmosphere and culture. Imagine if we could get a tiny percentage of that 1.5 million Chinese tourists to Australia who go to a North game or a Geelong game or a Port Adelaide game. They've seen it on TV because we now do a weekly documentary series, 25 weeks, on China TV, CCTV. Also, they took our Essendon game on CCTV, and Beck, they're doing the Geelong Anzac Day round live into China as well.
Is that right?
We're getting terrific feedback. So you've got our biggest trading partner, the most populous country in the world, tasting our game that's uniquely us. And Sam, I think that's terrific. It offers great opportunities for all clubs in the league.
Now, David, that is terrific to get Chinese people to come and be fans and watch the game, but we're not trying to get the game introduced into China and play it there, are we?
Look, we're doing it as sort of more as a kids' game, getting Auskick into China, particularly in Shanghai. Look, we're concentrating on southern China, around Hong Kong, where we sponsor the local Auskick. and into Shanghai. Shanghai's got 23 million people, same population as Australia. We're happy just to concentrate on that and get it right. And we've had really good discussions with the education department in China about putting Auskick on the approved list for Chinese kids to play, because basically they play soccer and basketball, and that's about it. So it's and table tennis, massive over here, and they see it as a good game. It gets kids out running and using ball skills, hand-eye coordination. They've been really impressed with it.
Hey, Koshy, I think it's tremendously exciting. I also, if I can go back a week, love the fact that all 18 clubs are now free to do their own individual broadcast deals with overseas broadcasters. That suits us all down to the ground too. But stick around, because I want to have a look at your game.
No, we've done it.
Port Adelaide, hang on, Koshy, and the GWS Giants. Star Trek Oval, and that's, of course, in the nation's capital. GWS, let's have a look. Hoskin Elliott is a big out injured. He was out a couple of weeks ago. Cor's going to miss a bit of footy as well. Bunteen still, you can see all the ins there. These are squads because the game's going to be played on Sunday. Impressive young team, getting better and better. And Port Adelaide absolutely pumped the Bombers last week by 61 points at the Adelaide Oval. And you can see the players coming in. Wingard, a massive version of that, and so is Hamish Hartlett, who is a very, very good player. Koshy, sit tight before we get the boys' thoughts on this, Boomer. What do you reckon?
Yeah, very sad to see Bob Murphy go down last week, but one door closes, another door opens, and Jed Adcock gets another chance. So great for him. Bulldogs are in fine form. They'll win this one.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, mate. We had them round 2 and they were exceptional. So are we on the right game here?
The Bulldogs. Quite right. No,
GWS, we've thrown the running sheet around for Koshy, so we're actually doing the game.
Sorry,
Koshy's team are involved in.
Port Adelaide, mate. Port Adelaide.
Yeah, Port Adelaide.
Shane? I'm going to go with the Giants. I think they're a very good side. And David, I will say this to you. Ni Zhen Miang, which means how's it going? And also, we would love to send Sam to China to do street talk. Can you organise that, please?
Wouldn't that be a treat? That could send relations backwards rather than forwards, but we'll give it a go.
Sam, who's going to win?
I don't know who's going to win, but I'm tipping an absolute sellout and lockout. There'll be hordes of Chinese trying to bust into this game. There'll be buses going to the venue. It'll be overflowing. There'll be millions of them just rooting for one of the sides. They don't care. They won't understand what in the hell's going on, but they'll all be there. They'll all be there.
Oh.
And they'll go to see, unfortunately, David's side get beaten.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately.
I know Koshy can still hear me, so I better go Port. But Koshy, just before we go, I want to say that must have been one hell of a lunch. You get one investor over here, has one lunch with you, sees one game, and then he gives you millions. Well done.
I'm a very persuasive bloke, Beck. You know that.
Did he eat the chicken or the fish? What's going on? Must have been one hell of a meal.
Hey, Koshy, it takes visionaries in this caper to move the needle, and that's exactly what you're trying to do. I think it's a very, very admirable thing. Good luck with it, and I hope you fly back better than you flew there.
Good to see you, Koshy.
Yeah, so do I. Thank you, guys. See you, Beck.
David Koch does a very, very good job as the president of Port Adelaide. We're going to take a break. We're going to get our act together back here and get our running sheet back in order. There is still plenty to come on the Footy Show.
Great crowd in tonight. It's been a super show so far, crossing to China. Didn't think we'd be doing that on the Footy Show. Hello. We've got a very important game on Saturday night at Etihad. It is Carlton. The Western Bulldogs are in fine form. We've got a couple of outs here. Carlton, Jamison, Wiley and Boakhurst. In comes Lamb, Sumner and Lockie Plowman. Western Bulldogs, we know it's been a heartbreaking week for Bob Murphy. In comes Jed Adcock, the first game for the Dogs. The former Lions skipper here is a ready-made replacement for him. I reckon the Western Bulldogs probably be too good. What do you reckon, Boomer?
I think I got this one, Shane. Very sad news
you had a
about
rehearsal,
Bob Murphy.
just go again.
Yes. One door closes, another door opens.
There
Great to see Jed Adcock back this week.
Yes.
And the Bulldogs are in fine form. Bulldogs are in.
Yep, we witnessed the Bulldogs in round 2. They were superb, and they'll do it again. Doggies.
Fan of the Dogs, love the way they play. I thought the way they took it to the Hawks was fantastic to watch, and they're a good team, so they'll be right there when the whips are cracked at the end of the year. I've got a fat stat. Here we go. Carlton have scored 11 behinds in all of their matches this year. So that's all I've got. And it was great to see the former Prime Minister John Howard at the football cheering on the Dogs. Hey! Well, how about that?
He's looking all right.
Did you know that? He's a mad doggy, Sam.
Well, they've kicked 11 behinds in
All of their matches, yes.
So just kicked 11 for the season.
No, in every match.
Well, that's ambiguous. You didn't make that clear.
I said Carlton have scored 11 behinds in all of their matches this year.
Well, that could mean they've kicked a total of 11 behinds for the whole season.
Anyway, Fossey, can you give us a tip?
Well, but mate, if you're going to give fat facts, make sure you get your fat brain round them.
Who's winning the game, please?
Anyway, Fossey.
The Western Bulldogs, by my word. I don't reckon Carlton will win a game this year either.
Hey,
all right.
We should just
who are they likely to beat?
We should...
Essendon.
We should say, on behalf of everyone attached to Channel 9 and the Footy Show, that our thoughts go out to Bob Murphy. Absolutely. He is an absolute superstar. We wish him well with his rehab. We hope he can get back on board what is a ferocious doggy train.
Absolutely. All right, it is time now for Sam's mailbag. Are you ready?
This is from Arno of Black Rock. Sammy, if you thought Richmond was in a trough, trough. What about my mate? This is.
There he is. Oh, that's not what you want.
No.
There was actually a bloke who used to go around nightclubs called Trough Boy. Right. He used to lie. This is true. No. He used to lie in urinals. No, he did. He was weird. He used to have people.
Yes.
Micturate on him. He did. Right. And you're not much better. And you're not much better than Trough Boy. Last week you had, you had a whinge about the mispronunciation of words and then mispronounced J-U-S. And I saw a confit of python thigh there. Oh. I saw a sloth carpaccio in juice. Just
you recognise that on the
finely sliced in juice.
Yeah, in juice,
no less. And how do you pronounce J-U-S?
Jew. There's no S on the end of it.
I was going to say something, but it was my first show and I thought I might get in trouble, so I just let you go.
No.
Don't ever hold back, Beck.
No, that is absolute nonsense, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, really?
Well, I'll tell you why. I'll learn you something.
Will you?
Paris, right? P-A-R-I-S.
Yes.
In Australia, we call it Paris. In France, they call it Paris.
Oh, really?
They do. They call their city Paris. Yeah. You know anyone in Paris calling their city Paris? You
Gay
call
Paris.
Gay Paris.
Gay Paris.
So they call jus, because it's got an S on it, in France, and we call it jus out here because we call it Paris and jus here.
Why don't we double check how it's pronounced?
Hey?
Plonker. Again, plonker.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with it?
We were just able to give you a clip in the middle of your own segment.
That is absolutely correct what I say.
No, it isn't. It's pronounced
Paris, jus, Paris, jus.
Righto, keep going.
Sam, let's double check we've done it. And I saw Croft was an inspiration for Lee Montagna. Is he also the inspiration for the new Aussie Thomas the Tank Engine character? Is he?
And here is Shane of Australia. Good day, mate. Shane's a big, strong engine who has been working tirelessly to ensure he's in the best of shape.
Shit off. No, he is the inspiration for the fat controller, though, because he's... But not the... From Rain. From Rain?
Yep.
Rain of Heidelberg.
Rhymes with Shane.
Rhymes of lame brain. Sam, how drunk do you get when you go out? Well, I don't drink, unlike this guy.
Oh, no.
Se quedaba el borracho Mírale.
There is a trend at the moment for people to photograph themselves during dinner parties after 1, 2, then 3 drinks. Now, this is what people do.
Righto, so the top left is when she hasn't
That's
had a drink,
right.
down to the bottom.
So it says, yes, well, we've got a camera. How would you guys fare? So it says, the man says, Harain says, how would you guys fare?
Yes.
Well, we've got a camera here, and so let's have a look at how we would fare. Now, this is
Oh,
Beck.
no. Come on.
Oh, no. Come on.
What's that about?
That's Beck after 1, 2, and then 3 drinks.
Oh, no. What happened to that bottom one there?
That's, and Shane. And Jim.
Right.
Oh. There it is. Now I'm going to see what that is. I'm going to have 3
You're
drinks.
going to have a little bit.
Not all at once. I'm going to have 3 drinks.
That's
See
it.
how I go. So we'll get on to the next letter.
That's
Let
it.
me just drink
Sparkling
this
red
is
wine.
1.
Oh, you don't want to share that?
Oh, no.
Yep. I haven't had a drink for 5 years.
You haven't.
So
Had a taste
that's
after
right.
that time.
No.
That's it. Sort of got bubbles coming up under it, that Shiraz.
Rob said pour it slowly. Feeling pretty good. I'd
Go on.
say, yeah.
There we are.
Neville of Ascot Vale. Sam, thank you for treating the Essendon drug story seriously and not taking the urine.
Well, it's not entirely true. Oh, no. Come on.
These parents didn't seem to care.
Oh, no.
Now, that's these 2 kids, pill and popping at a game.
Oh, come on.
Look at that. Steroids are everywhere. Remember this disgusting story. Now, this is ferrets on steroids sold as poodles in Argentina. Now, that is true. Another woman bought a 4-kilogram ferret she was told was a chihuahua. Want to know what an overfed chihuahua looks like? Well, take a shot of Shane down there. That's what an overfed chihuahua looks like.
Oh, that's very harsh. Actually, we've got a little message in from our good friend James Brayshaw from England, and he would like to say this.
Hi Beck, thanks for the tweet. Sorry to say I've never heard of you or Jim. Sam, however, I've heard a lot about your work on Tinder or Grindr or whatever it is. Cheers, bye.
Do you want to be a part of this blockbusting segment? GPO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria, 3001, sams.mailbag at 9.com.au, 9now.com.au/AFL Footy Show.
What is Tinder?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that
good
one.
question.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
What is it?
A good question and not one any of us can answer. We're getting to a break. More on the Footy Show after this.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. 2 of the giants of the AFL world. Yes, very fun. We're going to get into it. Almost Footy legends. Let's get it rolling. Boomer, take it away.
First of all, we've got Namurka versus Rumbalara. Huge grab from a huge man, Mitch Price.
Oh, up nice and
Not
high.
bad at all.
Boomer Harvey style, hovering in the sky. Now, Markov, who now is playing for Richmond, North Adelaide against Centrals. Have a look at this. He decides he'll put it through the goals, but have a look at the work after it goes through. Yes, umpire, it is all clear. Thank you very much. We like that. Very good. Hopefully we'll be in the seniors at the Tigers very, very soon. And what do we got, Boomer, for the last one?
The third one's another big grab. Murderford versus Wodonga. Elijah Wales starts the season in style with a massive grab. Huge hanger, Croft. Huge hanger.
He is hovering in the sky, and by the sound of the audience, they love that one. We're going to leave it to you, Boomer. 1, 2, or is it the specky at the end? What are you going to go with?
I like the hanger, mate. Number
All right,
3.
Number 3. Congratulations. You are this week's winner.
Thanks to Sportsbet, our weekly winner takes home $1,000 cash, while our runners-up get $500 each. Get involved this AFL season and make it a multi with Sportsbet. Thanks to Home Timber and Hardware, our major winner receives $5,000 in gift cards and a toolbox full of $45,000 in cold hard cash. That's a $50,000 prize. How's that to help you go hard towards the renovation you've always wanted? So to put the hard back into hardware, go where the tradies go. Home Timber and Hardware.
Send your entries in to GPO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria 3000 and win one. Also go to the website, get yourself involved. Awesome prizes, Jim.
Well done, Shane. We've been following the story of Will Murray, who was a very, very promising young junior footballer who had his career tragically finished when he was involved in a pier jumping accident. The family need lots of money for his ongoing rehabilitation. Every little bit helps, of course. So this is a big day. The Where There's a Will Community Day. It's coming up Saturday, April 16, 2 p.m. You can see the details there. Sandy Athletics Track in Victoria. Music, activities, footballers, showbiz celebs, rides, entertainment. The lot, something for the whole family. The good news with regard to Will, we had his father on not long ago, is that he recently had his first trip home since the accident in January. Spent it watching the footy and enjoying dinner with his family, which is terrific. He's a great kid. They are a great family. So if you can get along to the Sandringham Athletics Track this Saturday and get involved in that, that will be fantastic. And Sam, we need to, while we're discussing this story, acknowledge the Shane Warne Foundation, who donated an incredible amount of money to Will Murray and his family to help with exactly that cause. So to Warnie and everyone involved there, we congratulate them as well. Shane.
Yeah, we're going to have a look at the next match. Brisbane taking on the Gold Coast up at the Gabba on Saturday. Should be a good match. The Battle of the Beaches, sort of. Anyway, let's have a look at the Brisbane Lions. In comes Rich, a very important in. Out goes Evans. He'll give them plenty of run from half-back and use the ball really well. And the Gold Coast Suns, aren't they airborne at the moment, going very, very well. A couple of big outs. Out goes Thompson, McKenzie and Matera. Brooksby, Miller and Archie come in. They're going really well this year. Good to see Gary Ablett flying along. And I'm thinking they'll get across the line and have another good win.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Shane. They've been going really well, the Gold Coast, and it is good to see Gazza back. He's still a star, obviously.
Aaron Hall in better form than Gary Ablett, I reckon. I reckon he's on fire, one of the better players in the competition. What I'm going to do, though, Brisbane are struggling a bit. I'm going to send some spark up to Ryan Bastanak, my ex-teammate. And
what is that,
Some
please?
spark.
This is a little spark. It's a pre-workout shot. Designed by myself and our dietitian at the North Melbourne Football Club.
Ooh.
And
It's all good.
No, it's all above board, Sam. Don't be silly there. Ticked off by the right governing bodies. I'll send it up to Basti. 10 minutes before he plays, they'll dominate Croft.
Oh, there you go. You should have that before the show, Sam.
Stephen Dank signed off on it, so it's...
Nothing to do with that. Come on.
And I didn't see the... Is Clayton in for Brisbane?
No, he's not. No.
Awfully good inclusion he'd be if he can just get a chance. I think he might. Young Clayton.
But without him, are they going to win?
Not a chance.
Yeah, I saw Brisbane play down at Geelong on last weekend. They didn't really show much at all, so the Suns for me.
Staring down the barrel, the Gold Coast Suns at 4-0, which is a blistering start for that franchise. So that is something I don't think too many people tipped before we got the season underway. You get stuck into that, Sam, because next it's What the Foss, questions from the live audience to Sam without him seeing them. That's next.
Home straight, but we do have time for What's the Foss?
All right, very simple concept this, all about magnificent studio audience fill out a question when they arrive. We pick out the best couple. Sam hasn't seen any of them. We then get one of the panel members to read it out on behalf of the person who wrote it.
Careful,
so you can see him just having a spark to get ready. Boomer, we start with you. Who have you got?
I got Adam Sparks.
Where are you, Adam?
Sparks.
Sparks.
Yeah, perfect.
There he is.
Straight leading.
Read the question.
Sam, what is your best pickup line?
Oh. Whoa, wow. Well, I've had a lot of success with this early days. This is in the days when women used to wear stockings. I used to say, is that a ladder in your stockings or just a stairway to heaven?
Oh, no!
You didn't use that.
You can't be using that.
Had tremendous success with that. And then when I got a bit confident, had a couple of sparks and that, and, you know, I used to say, you now.
I think we described this as edgy live television. Armour?
No, you now is some and they're in the same state as me, maggoted at the end of a night at a venue. They say,
next question.
This is from Corey C.
Where are you, Corey C? There he is.
Righto. All right, so Sammy, if you didn't play footy, what would you do for a profession?
What would I have done?
Yes.
What would you have done?
Well, I know you're going to laugh at this. I reckon I would have been a great porn star. And I tried out for it once, and the director said, mate, in order to get the lighting and the focus of the camera, you've got to last more than 10 seconds. And the man beside him said, if you bite on a damn hanky, sometimes you can get 20 seconds out of yourself.
On that hideously inappropriate note, we're going to thank Brent Harvey, everybody. He's been sensational. David Armitage, you're a star. Paul, great to see you. Ben, well done. You just keep shooting the lights out. Force, drink some more spark. We'll see you 8:30 next Thursday.